This is Twit.
Next up, we have the Sherlybox, which is a private and shareable cloud on your desk. And here to present is Blazej.
Welcome.
Hi,
Welcome, Blazej.
Sherlybox,
What do you got?
huh?
Hi,
Please don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
Nice, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please,
So,
Blazej.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me. So this is a device already funded, so we're stretching now to make it even better. So this is a private cloud, what we call it. But actually, it solves much greater problem than just storing your files, because I think sync sucks.
Sync sucks.
Sync sucks. Thank you. So what we do is we want to be a next thing after the sync. Means we want to be smart enough to know which files you need where, and we only predict that. So we have many devices, but actually what we use it is already a different purpose. Every device is used for different reason. You use it for specific, to fulfill specific need. So file distribution and file delivery should be aware of that context. Right now, every device is single universe. And syncing is just, I'm going to bet 95% of just waste of bandwidth and resources because you sync everything you might need, but actually you don't. You actually need the files that you accessing like last 30 days or the specific to your situation or location. For example, at work, you're accessing work files. At home, you're accessing private files. And we want to create a software that will be aware of that. It will be predictive, and it will be on your terms. It means you're not dependable on somebody else. So first thing we do, we don't send files anywhere. You send invites. So I'm creating a folder, putting my files there, and sending invites to my friends, and they see it on my Sherlybox. That's it. And we control it through the application, which is right now Mac, Windows, and very soon will be Linux. And then we go for mobile, and then we go for other storage platforms out there. We are very fast. So we also want to retire this very old transfer protocols we currently use. It's like Civ, Samba, hasn't changed in 20 years. Our files getting bigger. 4K is reality. These files are really big, and we have to move them around. The actual network is really fast. Do you complain that your cell phone bandwidth is low, or you actually complain that battery sucks? So mobile versus regular network is not that big of a difference anymore. What is the problem is you want to access your files, and of course, mobile devices will never contain all the files you actually need. So it's better than syncing and stuffing your drive with files you don't currently need, is having persistent, secure access to stuff you have at home, at office, anywhere you want, actually. So we already passed the first goal on day 5th of the campaign. We are in the middle, 19 days to go. And currently we're stretching to make this device even better, because we started with very simple Raspberry Pi platform. Now we want to move to another flavor, which is banana. And banana is much better, not even for the flavor. Actually, I prefer banana over raspberry any day. But actually, on the network, on the gut itself. So obviously, we want to work the best hardware out there. There is a cost involved, and we want to make it very affordable. That's why we go for $199. We don't want to make it very too expensive. We want to be like no-brainer to get it.
$199 without storage.
With storage.
With storage.
1 terabyte storage, $199.
Wow.
$149 with other. But actually, there is a USB expansion. You can connect all your USB drives laying around in drawers somewhere with your fine Hawaii trip photos. Now you can just share it with your friends without sending everything to them.
Is it Blazej?
Blazej.
Blazej.
It's a Polish name.
Polish.
I'm from Poland.
Chat room, we want to hear your questions about the Sherlybox. Ask them in the Twit chat using the hashtag IFT. You can also vote. Tell them whether I'd fund that or go fund yourself at twit.to/Sherly. That's twit.to/SHERLY.
But as always, I'd wait to vote till we ask some questions, because I'm very interested about it. Now, I have used many devices like this. I've used Tornado Plug. I've used, I currently use a transporter, file transporter, which has many of the same features as this, and of course, going way back, the Pogo Plug, when they still offered a hardware solution. I think these are a great idea, and I think the market is ripe for this, because people who are afraid of using OneDrive or Google Drive or Dropbox because they were worried about privacy concerns, like the idea of hosting. Tell me about the encryption. Is it how is data transported to this? is it only within the LAN? If you have transport outside the onto the WAN, is it encrypted?
So connection between your device and your Sherlybox is always encrypted.
Yeah.
Data when you transfer is also always encrypted.
Okay. SSL?
So yes. Yeah. And there is SSL is just a transport conduit. Actually, we encrypt data itself.
So it's stored on the drive encrypted as well?
That's the user decision. You can make it encrypted, but you don't have to.
Okay.
That's dependent of like what you have on your network, because obviously the encryption will create some kind of strain on
overhead,
on performance.
Right.
So if you're more concerned about security, you can encrypt anything. Plus, we can also we're already secure enough that if somebody will try to access your device like laptop and connect to your Sherlybox, it will not be possible, because your laptop is linked to only your account.
As long as they don't steal the device out of your house. If you're worried about that, then you would want to encrypt the data on the drive.
Yeah, actually, if they steal it, they will not be able to access it, because data will not be accessible without your account.
What file system are you using?
Our own proprietary.
And you're not using SMB, you're using your own proprietary
network?
network?
Protocol is our proprietary. File system, where we actually store the files, will be Linux-based.
ext3 or...
Yes, exactly.
You guys have any questions? Because I could go on and on. I don't want to.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I mean, to me, I don't really use something like this. I have almost everything in the cloud. I don't need things to be so heavily encrypted that I've used something like this. Yeah. So I'm not really sure as to what's out there either with regards to this.
Well, one of the things that's out there is Protonet, which was one of the huge crowdfunding success stories. They won $1 million in like an hour and a half or something like that.
Right.
How is your product different from Protonet's?
Protonet, I mean, is always in German. My German is a little rusty. So I base what I know is like €1,000 device, which is quite expensive and quite big. And it's actually a private server. I was in distribution for 8 years. I know the server is actually hard sell, because most people don't care about hardware. They care about functionality it brings. So the device itself is not really a value. What it gives you, that's the value. So that's why we want to make this as affordable as possible. And we didn't go into like top-notch hardware right from the point, because we'll be ending up with a really high price point.
So how do you sell something like this? I mean, how do you explain this to the lay consumer? Do you scare them with the NSA? Do you talk about the ease of use? What is it that you use to sell this?
Actually, it's more convenience. I don't want to have like scary story there. I think it's convenience. Like you shoot a video, 1 minute video is only 100 megs. There's nothing you can send it with. You cannot send it with email. You cannot message it. You have to put it somewhere. And for me, the notion to upload everything to the cloud just to be able to show it to somebody is like ridiculous. I don't need to do that. I can do the same thing with my home, plus my office network. Plus, I don't have these storage constraints. I don't have to pay for it because I already have a storage. Why do I pay twice for the same thing? So you question, yeah, you can put everything on the cloud, but the point is that if you share it with somebody, it will take a chunk of their account too, because it will sync. Right. With us, it's not. It's actually, you don't create this kind of, as we call it, bear favor.
You're going to integrate with Plex or XMBC?
Yes,
yeah.
for the convenience of actually viewing the files. So I love Plex. I'm using it for many years. It's actually great.
You wouldn't run it locally. You wouldn't be a Plex server, or would you?
Yeah, a Plex server will be on this.
Really?
Yeah, and you can stream on your TV, on your mobile.
And the Raspberry Pi or the Banana Pi is fast enough to do that?
Yeah, I mean, the transcoding is being done on the client
itself. It's already done, yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually depending on your client, on your device you're watching. TV, for example, is powerful enough to transcode HD stream. The same goes for mobile.
A lot of this comes down to trust in you guys, because I like what you're saying. I mean, I think this is a very attractive product, but you're making some promises that are kind of interesting. For instance, it sounds like in addition to TLS, you're using some sort of proprietary encryption inside the tunnel. Is that the case? I'm concerned about the protocol you're using.
This encryption will be definitely a standard base.
Standard, and the Shirley protocol is your own protocol.
Yes.
So what's the background? Do you have partners on this, or is it just you? Who's?
No, I have a team. I mean, I have 3 developers, 5 guys full time back in Poland. Plus, we have outside resources like marketing and
you've done other stuff like this. It sounds like you have a VPN protocol.
Yes, we started with technology actually.
Yeah.
We call it gateless VPN. It was actually the Sherly technology is based on VPN. So VPN normally requires a server. We developed a VPN, we call it gateless VPN, that does not require a server. Server is like a control point, not the congestion point.
Right.
So not everything goes to the central point. So client-server architecture does not scale. I mean, you can kill any server, even
Right.
in the cloud. If you just rush it with a lot of demand, it will, it will fail. With a distributed network, it's much, much, much harder to cause any kind of noticeable problem.
One of the things I love about my transporter, and I've actually moved everything to the transporter, is that I can have a transporter here and I can have a transporter at home, and they will synchronize as well as synchronize with the desktop. I can do that with the Sherlybox as well.
Absolutely. The point is that we designed a Sherlybox for sharing. So the point is that you actually don't manage it yourself. You just have it connected, that's all, and you do everything on your app.
It's a NAS, though, basically, isn't it?
Yes, with our special software. So regularly, that's NAS.
Right.
So you said you can synchronize. How hard is that to do? To
Synchronization is very simple to do.
And it's built into your app.
Yeah. I mean, we synchronize only between devices, but if you wanted to.
I see. But that's like a feature of your app.
This is a feature, not obligation, not like our type of what we do. It's like mostly it's secure access, and then you decide what you want to do. In the future, we want to develop this intelligence into the software. And addressing your point, you don't have to trust me with anything, because all I have is account information. I verified you are you. That's why you can access your infrastructure. But the data itself is always you. I don't have your data. So
you do maintain a server at the Sherly side that is a authenticating server?
Authentication and initial connection. Then you talk directly.
So you're doing NAT translation so that you don't have to work.
Absolutely.
Now I see that I pressed the button 3 times on my Sherly to join. Is that WPS? What is? It's wireless. It's not. It's not Ethernet. Or is it?
It's both. It's both. Yeah.
Okay.
The point is that with regular NAS, the onboarding is really a problem. I mean, if you talk to regular user, to HTTP 192, blah, 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 it will lose them already. So with us, it's very simple to, if we have a custom app, our own Sherlybox, we can like detect the Sherlybox. And now I need the confirmation, like this is really yours. So press the logo 3 times.
Now, if you don't maintain the authentication server, does this stop working?
On local network, not. You can still access it like regular.
But
the remote
WAN,
access will still work, obviously.
Okay.
But on local network, it's always yours.
Okay, that's good to know.
Beatmaster wants to know, at what stage of R&D is this, and are the specs already set?
Specs for device?
Yeah.
Specs for the device are listed on the Kickstarter, and we just launched 0.91 beta of our Sherly application. So we're very close. We're going to be launching public version this fall. So anybody who wants to try it out, just go to the website, shareable.ly, download the software, it's free.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not open source, though. It's closed source.
It's ours.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that covers our next question.
Sorry, I keep asking the same questions.
Mr. Mike wants to know, how do we give invites and rescind them to our clouds?
You send an invite through email. Or,
can you rescind it afterwards? Can you cancel it?
Yes. And you can also revoke the access.
It.
Yeah.
Okay. So and what levels of access permission do I have? What kinds do you have? Read, write, read only?
The thing is that we do it this way that if you sync regularly and you share with other people can delete your files.
Right.
That's one of the problems.
Big problem with Dropbox, for instance.
Yeah, we don't do that. Means if I share something with you guys, you can erase your copies, but only I can erase my data. Plus, I can revoke access. And
so they can't modify anything at all?
They can put their own version of the file, but they cannot modify mine if I don't allow it.
Okay.
Later
but you
on,
can say, give permissions, you can edit this file or not edit the file.
Okay. That's not ready yet.
Okay.
We'll be implementing these features down the road. We don't want to overwhelm people with many features at once.
Okay, so as of right now, I can't go, hey, I'm sharing something with you. It's private. Make some modifications. If they do, can they save it there?
They can save it in the same file. It will be a different file.
Just different file.
You want that. That way you have versions. You have versioning, so you don't.
Yeah, but sometimes you may not want that. But they're working on that second part. Okay.
Yeah, actually, the versioning is really good for if you have like a master file and you accidentally overwrite it. I spent like several times sitting to 4 a.m. to recover what I had in my original file.
Right.
Yeah. Morbid curiosity. Why press it on 3 times? Why 3 times? Why not just once?
It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 10.
To make sure that you meant it.
Make sure it's yours. For example, you have, 10 of those, and you want to connect with particular one. I need to know which one you wanted to connect, right? So we have to identify it. I mean, I could ask you, like, can you type in a MAC address? Oh, yeah, that would be really fun. So that's why pressing the logo or actually doing anything else to distinguish between devices and also prove it's yours.
I'm very intrigued by this gateless VPN. Why not open source? Because one of the problems I always have is that if I can't see the code, I don't know what it's doing.
I agree, but hardly problem. It was open source and still was there. So I wouldn't say open source is guarantee of quality.
And TrueCrypt, we don't know what the hell they were doing.
Well, I'm using TrueCrypt, but now I don't know what's the thing.
Right.
And I love the TrueCrypt.
So it doesn't. I agree. It doesn't necessarily solve that problem.
And I'm taking, as a company, I'm standing 100% behind my software, and I think with open source, I like it really. But the problem is that nobody there is taking responsibility for the problem.
That's right.
With my software, I'm taking full responsibility for my software.
You're using RSA. What are you using for encryption?
Oh, there's actually various of many things we use. RSA, yes, absolutely. IAS 256. And there is also asymmetric codes exchange and private keys, public keys, which are dynamic and change.
So you can also do symmetric? Can you do symmetric as well?
We do.
So these are all standards. So that's great. I mean, we know that these are standard forms of encryption and that they're effective and work. Any other questions, chat room?
Mr. Mike wants to know, have they considered just selling the software?
We are.
Oh,
absolutely.
Already
We're
doing
selling the software. Yes, absolutely.
And then lastly, our very own Jeff N wants to know, why is it called the Sherlybox?
Yeah, good question.
Actually, we came up with the name with my co-founder, Mark. We were sitting one day and was like, we have to make it the name. And I was like baffling this for like 6 months. What is the name? I mean, name has to be right. You say the name, it's like, that's it. Like my son's name, Jacob. Yes. It was like instant choice.
Shirley.
Yeah. So actually, Shirley comes from sharing secure easily.
Ah, I like
Put
it.
it together. And y.ly, because domain was available. Sherly.com was $84,500. I'm going to pass. So Sherly and Sherlybox, obviously, it's a box and Sherly on it, so Sherlybox.
Awesome.
And it's a woman's name, and it's a machine, so, you know.
Yeah, and they'll call me Sherly. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Surely you must be kidding.
Yeah, I think it's
Mike
got a good
did that
joke.
right away
Yeah.
on that one.
So, panel, what are your verdicts?
Mike, you get to start.
Okay, wonderful. Well,
I think it's Mike's turn.
Yeah. And then I'll go next.
All right. Well, I wanted to hate this. I wanted to pick it apart and find something wrong with it, but I can't. The price is amazing. It sounds like you've really got the technology nailed down. I think I can really see people wanting this product. I think the time is right for this product because of the NSA, even though you're not going to be pushing that as a scaring people into buying it. But people are concerned about the cloud, about cloud storage, and so on. And I think that it should be an easy sell to let people know that you're hanging on to the data and you're giving people access to something that's on your possession and is person to person. And I don't know, it just seems like an awesome product, and I'd fund that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Mike, because I was going like, why do I need another storage device for my files and things like that? But in looking at this, I don't know if I would necessarily use this that much, but given your price point, and I know how Leo likes to have all these encrypted devices laying around for his files. I mean, I use ShareFile, so that works for me. But I think this would be great for the price, the type of product it is. So yes, I'd fund that too.
That's a really important point. This is one of the lowest priced products in this category.
I've never seen one this price. Right.
You know, a terabyte drive's $100. So for $200, I get this plus a terabyte drive. That's a very
very compelling
price, and I guess that's because of the Raspberry Pi or Banana Pi.
Yeah.
But you've put a lot of work into the software. Always a problem with stuff like this is the devil is in the details. The devil's in the software. And until we can use the software and see how easy to use it is, it's hard for me to say whether it's going to be a great product. It seems to me, though, you've checked all the most important boxes. I could see why it's been popular on Kickstarter. I could see why you got funded right away. Mm-hmm. And I think given the low price of this, that's a low risk to get involved, I'd be very interested in this. So I'm going to say I'd fund it as well. I think you've got 3 out of 3. Let's see if the chat room agrees.
So this, I think, might be a first in that the panel all voting I'd fund that. The chat room by a margin of by a vote of 53 to 47% says go fund yourself.
Really?
Really?
I think this is a great product. We obviously like it. The chat room, perhaps for reasons
very close.
It's close.
Mm-hmm.
I think
close.
some of that is a natural concern about who you guys are and
Agreed.
what the software is behind this. And I do agree with that. I can understand that, but I think the time is right for a product like this. I like the industrial design a lot. I think it's an attractive design. I like it that it's Wi-Fi, which my transporter is not. Mm-hmm. Transporter is somewhat more expensive than this. So I think you've got a hit on your hands.
I do
I'm
too.
very excited. I can't wait to try it.
Thank you so
The
much.
Sherlybox.
Thank you so much.
We give you a I'd
I like
fund
the
that. You
name.
can put that on your site.
Oh, we definitely do.
Congratulations and
Thank
good
you.
luck to you. We'll look forward to seeing more about.
Thank you so
about
much.
this.
Thank you.
you.
This is like
Excellent.
beginning. We're very excited to be.
Yeah, I can see that.
Next level.
Yeah, I can see that. It's really looks like good stuff.
So I'm here with Blazej from Sherlybox. Blazej, how do you think it went?
Oh, I think it was well. I was very nervous in the beginning. There was a couple of TV appearances before, but the stress was there. But once we started, I think everything one thing led to another. It was really good. I was really think I get across what I wanted to show and demonstrate.
So that was an I'd fund that first, where we had the judges all unanimously saying they'd fund it, but just by a slim margin, the chat room was against it. I think some of their concerns had to do with the lack of open source and with not knowing more about the encryption. Do you think that's going to be a stumbling block with the more hardcore tech types with this product?
I think that's a natural thing for the software that is kind of related to personal trust towards technology or the software or the hardware. So obviously we will put more work into explaining what we do, how we do it. We're going to put more materials on our website to explain what the technology actually does.
So what advice do you have to future candidates coming on I'd fund that?
Yeah, probably try to be calm. I guess it's like, I think the most important thing is like forget the camera. Just talk to people and answer the questions and things will be fine.